And welcome back to everybody on WrestleMania and to night 1 of WrestleMania out of 10. The event is a culmination of more than a year of storytelling. Many famous feuds are being built up, including Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins against the Bloodline, Rhea Ripley against Becky Lynch, Gunther against Sami Zayn, Jey Uso versus Jimmy Uso, and tonight that all comes to a head. And we start things off with a Women's World Championship match, Rhea Ripley against Becky Lynch. Before that, Coco Jones sang the national anthem. Triple H came out to welcome us to the 40th edition of WrestleMania, but Becky Lynch had a special entrance, narrating threat quotes from her book. Ripley was played to the ring by Bam motionless in white. They got to work after bell, and the man scored the first major takedown with a flying dropkick that sent the champ out of the ring. The Eradicator took control and began beating on Lynch in the corner, but it never felt like either woman had the upper hand for long. These two are known for being willing to have physical matches or push the limits, so it shouldn't surprise anyone that they made this feel highly competitive. We saw lots of great individual move sequences. Lynch focused a lot of her attention on Ripley's arm and a cast until Friday to set up a finisher. The Eradicator locked in her signature standing reverse cloverleaf before the man could apply her armbar. This is a perfect match to put in the opening slot. It wasn't going to be the main event. Both superstars did an excellent job making every big move count. After countering a manhandle slam into mid-right, the Eradicator hit the Riptide into the turnbuckle, hitting her in the middle of the win to score the win and retain her title. Mami continues her reign after an outstanding match, which will only elevate her. I don't think Becky Lynch will be too harmed by this in the long run, so I thought it worked really nicely. 7 out of 10. We then got the 6-man ladder match for the tag team titles. Ladder matches are chaotic in most cases, but when you have 12 men fighting over 2 sets of belts, you're going to have something that can be a bit hard to follow, but a lot of fun at the same time. Drew had some great commentary spots, including a moment where he thought he won by pinfall. Theory and Mauler took down the tag team titles, claiming those titles not too long into the match, but the others stopped them before they could grab the Raw belts. We can argue until the cows come home about whether the right teams won, but the important thing is that they've finally been split and each brand will have its own titles. We saw some fun spots, but this won't stand out long in the memory really. It was a lot of fun and the crowd was very special, but mostly just a series of big spots and storytellings. After years of being a beloved goofball, Archery finally got his WrestleMania moment and The Miz climbed and to celebrate a big win. And I thought it was a happy ending. A really fun match and cool spots as well. I really enjoyed it. 8 out of 10 for me. Before it's time for Andrade and Rey Mysterio versus Santos Escobar and Dominic Mysterio. Angel, Berta and Elektra may not have been competing, but they all had some cool gear to accompany Santos and Dom. Rey and Andrade and the LWO are also in special gear. As expected, it's fast-paced and exciting. Rey, Andrade and Escobar celebrated the veterans, and Dom has made improvements in joining the main roster. All four wanted to mix some classic Lucha Libre with WWE style. Whether it would have been nice for everyone who was at ringside to be in a bigger match, it probably was a good idea to keep this as 2-on-2. They eventually got involved at ringside, and Wild did some slingshot as he has done a few times. 2 men in masks prevented Dom from using a chair, allowing Ray to hit 619. It was Philadelphia Eagles legend Jason Kelsey and Lane Johnson revealed. So yeah, nice surprise. It was a bit overbooked at the end maybe, but it was an enjoyable match with a couple of cameos from local Philly stars. So yeah, I think it was just a fun match, more on the middle of the card than anything else. So I thought it did the job, and yeah, gets a 6 out of 10 from me. We then saw the Uso brothers stare off for just the 3rd time brothers faced off in the WrestleMania. The Harts and the Hardys before. Nikki and Brie Bella fought on pay-per-view but never at Mania. Jay hit a suicide dive before Jimmy even got to the ring, and the action starts earlier. It took a bit of time for Jimmy to regain his footing, but once he did, he hit a few hip strikes to channel their father Rikishi. The majority of this match was about telling a story rather than putting on the most exciting sequences. In some moments it worked, in others it felt like a bit slow and the crowd checking out. They did a good job selling most of the emotional moments, and the crowd woke up a bit when Jimmy started begging Jay for forgiveness. Jay picked him up and hugged him before Jimmy popped him with a super kick and hit an Uso splash for a 2. Once Jay recovered, he hit his own Uso splash and got the pin. Not having a solo Takara involved was the right call. It was decent, but maybe just didn't measure up to the other cards. On another pay-per-view, it might have been received better. But for me, I think on the grade in this stage of the ball, I think it just didn't click. Maybe got a bit overbooked in a way. So yeah, unfortunately, I'm going to give it a 5 out of 10. Such a shame, but for me, it didn't quite deliver to the kind of heights I was hoping for. We then saw Damage Control taking on Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill and Naomi, and they had an epic entrance for their match. A special elevator introduction. 6-person tag matches usually follow with patterns designed to give all competitors time in the ring, so it's usually a predictable throw. However, none of them matters when the action is this good. Belair was impressive as ever with her power and agility. She picked up the win for her team in a match that was good but shorter than expected. With maybe a few more minutes, it could have been more memorable. But Cargill's WrestleMania debut was a big success for her. The future of women's wrestling WWE looks bright, with the likes of these competitors involved. So I think, yeah, with what they had, this worked really nicely. And obviously, big win for the faces, made Cargill look good. I think, yeah, considering they weren't really in 2 feature positions at WrestleMania, Yeah, really looked good. 7 out of 10. Before it's time for the IC title match between Gunther and Zayn, Owens made his way to wish Sami Zayn good luck before the match. Zayn struck first and hit several chops to corner the ring general. He seemed to surprise Gunther with his aggression, but one German suplex killed his momentum. Zayn, a natural babyface, but against the monster heel of Gunther, becomes even more of an underdog. The crowd was heavily behind him and chanted several times to show their support. They supported this match exactly how you'd expect. The champion dominated for a few minutes. Zayn would then make a comeback and Gunther would find a way to counter him. Began the cycle. Both men had bruises and bumps, but that was least surprising given Gunther and his chops and all of that. This was just as physical and expected, and the inclusion of the challengers family added to the kind of cinema. Zayn survived some of Gunther's biggest moves, including a massive clothesline and 2 brutal powerbombs. The champion became more frustrated and started punishing the underdog from the underground while talking trash to his wife. He began toying with his opponents, but Zayn showed signs of life, nailing Gunther with a Helluva Kick followed by a brainbuster. He then drilled Gunther with 2 more Helluva Kicks to get the win. Zayn is our new IC champion. Gunther's epic reign is over, and I thought for WrestleMania, with all the circumstances around it, with his family there, I think this was the perfect time to do it, and what a brilliant moment it was at the end. So yeah, it gets an 8 out of 10 from me. Outstanding. And yeah, can't wait to see what both Zayn and Gunther do from here. Great stuff. It was then time for the Rock and Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins. The main event of night 2 was of course determined by this match. It was more than 30 minutes between the end of the Zayn's match and the beginning of this one. All 4 men stood in and stared down for a long time before Rollins and Reigns decided to start for their teams. The Tribal Chief typically took the Visionary down and talked some trash throughout this ending fast. When Rhodes tagged in, he tried to take the control quickly, but he found himself on the defence. Rollins tagged back in and locked up with the Rocks for his first match in 80 years. Rocky easily punished him down, but the Visionary just smiled and out-wrestled the Great One for a quick moment to show off. The first several matches were quick exchanges and posturing, but this was a bit when Rhodes and The Rock were in there together. The Great One and Rollins ended up fighting into the crowd, but The Rock told the referee would fire him if he counted him out in his role as a TKO board. From that point, The Rock started cheating without worrying about any consequences. For a long time, this was The Rock and Roman decimating their opponents. This was all done in a way to make it seem like babyfaces are in an impossible situation, and it worked, but also for a match that wasn't as exciting as it should have been. Nobody expected a 5-star classic, but they didn't do quite enough to make it feel as worthy of the main event. It was enjoyable from a sports entertainment standpoint and seeing The Rock back in the ring, but maybe lacking the wrestling department, which in a way I guess was expected. But The Rock pinned Cody to win and make it a Bloodline rules match. So yeah, like I said, it's surreal to see The Rock back in action like this, but I thought, for what it was a fun smalls fest to win the show. I think that's what we were always probably going to get here, so I'm going to give it a 8 out of 10. Overall, night 1 of WrestleMania 40 gets an 8 out of 10 from me. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought, this was a brilliant start to WrestleMania. Some of the quality action we had, emotional stories throughout the nights, and of course Bloodline rules heading into the match next week, tomorrow night, which is going to be really exciting to see if The Rock can interfere or if Cody Rhodes can overcome it. Yeah, I can't wait. Hey guys, that's it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, follow us on our socials, link in the description below for daily wrestling news, meme and content. Subscribe to our other channels on screen right now, that'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.